It's been a really tough week for music lovers. With the news of Angie Stone's passing
Yeah.
in that car accident, it's really shaken a lot of people. I think she was only 63.
Yeah, it's a real heartbreaking loss. Angie Stone was such a force in music and really left her mark over, decades and different genres.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that, she was taken from us so suddenly.
Yeah.
Especially, she was on her way back from a performance
Right.
when the accident happened in Mobile, Alabama.
The details are just awful.
Yeah.
She was a passenger in a van that flipped and then was hit by a truck early Saturday morning.
Wow.
It makes you think about how fragile life is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it makes you want to cherish the music and the memories that she left behind.
Right.
And that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to take a deep dive into the life and career of Angie Stone
Yeah.
and celebrate her legacy as a true music icon.
I think that's a beautiful way to honor her.
And if you're a fan of Angie Stone's music, or if you just, appreciate the impact that she had on the music industry, then be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives like this one.
So to really understand Angie Stone's impact, I think we need to go back to the beginning.
Okay, take us back. Where does this incredible story begin?
Well, Angie Stone's musical journey actually started when she was really young, like 16 years old.
Wow.
As part of this really groundbreaking hip-hop group.
16, that's really young to be making musical waves already.
Yeah.
What group was this?
They were called The Sequence, and they were pioneers, like one of the first all-female rap groups to get any kind of real recognition.
I bet a lot of people who, know and love Angie Stone for her soulful R&B sound have no idea about these hip-hop roots.
Right.
It's such a testament to how diverse her musical journey really was.
It really is, and it just shows you how much talent she had and her willingness to, cross boundaries and break new ground. I mean, their hit song, Funk You Up, back in 1979 was a game changer.
I can only imagine it must have been incredible to witness that kind of energy and innovation at such a young age.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And it really did set the stage for her success later on in her career. But she didn't stop there after The Sequence. She went on to join another group, an R&B group called Vertical Hold.
So even before embarking on her solo career, she was already gaining all this experience in different genres, honing her craft and finding her voice.
Exactly. And, all those experiences, they all kind of came together when she launched her solo career. And that's where she really blossomed into the icon that we all know and love.
And speaking of blossoming, her debut solo album, Black Diamond, that really solidified her status as a neo-soul icon. That album went gold.
It did. It was more than just commercial success, though. Black Diamond was a statement. It was like this perfect blend of those classic soul influences and, those hip-hop elements that she had honed earlier in her career.
Right.
You could hear it in every track. It was this unique sound that was both familiar and fresh.
Yeah, and it resonated with so many people. That's what's so amazing about Angie Stone. She had this incredible ability to connect with listeners on such a deep emotional level.
That's the mark of a true artist for sure. And she didn't just stop at one great album. She followed Black Diamond with Mahogany Soul and then The Art of Love and War, both critically acclaimed and, featuring some of her most beloved hits.
And speaking of hits, we can't forget about those Grammy nominations, 3 in total, right?
Yeah, 3.
Including one for Crazy, which still gives me chills every time I hear it.
Crazy is such a perfect example of what made Angie Stone so special. Her music, it wasn't just technically brilliant, it was raw, emotional, and authentic. You could feel every word she sang.
She had this incredible ability to convey both vulnerability and strength at the same time.
Yeah.
It's really what made her music so powerful and relatable.
It's interesting when you look back at Angie Stone's journey through all these different genres, it really reflects the evolution of Black music in America.
Oh yeah, tell me more about that.
Well, she starts with The Sequence, riding that wave of early hip-hop, a genre that was born out of Black culture and urban experiences. And then she transitions seamlessly into R&B, a genre steeped in soul and blues again with those strong ties to the Black community.
And then she becomes a key figure in that neo-soul movement of the late 90s and early 2000s, which was all about reviving that classic soul vibe, but with a modern twist.
Exactly. Neo-soul was like this reclassing of soul music and fusing it with, contemporary production and lyrical themes that resonated with a whole new generation.
So Angie Stone wasn't just making music, she was part of these larger cultural shifts happening within Black music. She had her finger on the pulse of something really significant.
That's a great point. She wasn't just a singer. She was a witness to and a participant in the evolution of these incredibly influential genres.
Yeah, it's amazing when you think about how much musical ground she covered. I mean, Funk You Up by The Sequence is a world away from a song like Wish I Didn't Miss You. But there's this through line, this undeniable soulfulness that runs through all her work.
Right, she wasn't afraid to experiment and evolve, but she always stayed true to that soulful core, and that's what makes her legacy so powerful.
It elevates her beyond just being a hit maker. She was a visionary, someone who understood the depth and the history of Black music and really helped shape its future.
Absolutely. And her influence on later generations of artists is undeniable. I mean, think about all the female rappers and R&B singers who came after her who were inspired by her path, her sound, her fearlessness.
Yeah, I'm thinking of artists like Jasmine Sullivan, H.E.R., even Lizzo. They all carry that Angie Stone torch in their own unique ways.
It's like a musical lineage,
Yeah.
a passing of the torch from one generation to the next, and Angie Stone was a crucial link in that chain.
This raises a great question for our listeners. What do you think is Angie Stone's most lasting contribution to music? Was it her pioneering work with The Sequence, her soulful solo career, or her overall impact on the evolution of Black music? Let us know in the comments.
Now, while you're pondering that, let's take a moment to talk about another fascinating facet of Angie Stone's career, her acting.
Oh yeah, she wasn't just a music icon. She graced the big screen as well. I remember her so vividly in The Fighting Temptations. Alongside Cuba Gooding Jr. and Beyonce, she played that sassy, no-nonsense choir director.
That's right. And who could forget her hilarious turn as the overprotective mother in The Hot Chick? She had this incredible comedic timing.
It wasn't just about the big roles, though. Even in smaller parts, she brought this warmth and humor to her characters.
It's like she was a natural performer no matter the medium, whether she was rapping on stage, belting out a ballad, or delivering a line on screen. She just had this undeniable presence.
And it wasn't just talent, it was her personality, too. She had this genuineness, this warmth that just drew people in.
Absolutely. It came across in her music, her acting, even in her interviews. She was just so real, so relatable, despite all her stardom.
She never seemed to forget where she came from, and that humility made her even more endearing.
Exactly. And that's another important part of her legacy, a reminder that, success doesn't have to change who you are at your core.
It's a powerful message, especially in an industry that can be so focused on image and superficiality. Angie Stone stayed true to herself throughout her career, and that authenticity really resonated with her fans.
It certainly did. And speaking of her impact on fans, I want to circle back to something we touched on earlier, her influence on subsequent generations of artists.
Yes, that's such a crucial part of her legacy. Can you give us some more specific examples of how her influence can be seen in today's music?
Absolutely. I mean, think about the vocal power and raw emotion of Jasmine Sullivan. You can hear echoes of Angie Stone's soulful delivery in her music.
You're right, and H.E.R.'s ability to blend classic R&B with modern production techniques that feels very much in line with what Angie Stone was doing during the neo-soul era.
Exactly. And then you have Lizzo with her boldness and unapologetic self-expression, that same fearless spirit that Angie Stone embodied throughout her career.
It's remarkable to see how her influence continues to ripple through the music industry, inspiring new artists to find their own unique voices. As we talk about Angie Stone's legacy and, her impact on other artists, we should remember that her music wasn't just about catchy melodies or impressive vocal runs.
Right.
There was always this deeper meaning,
Yeah.
a message woven into her songs.
That's so true, and I think that's really what gave her music such staying power. Beyond the surface, there are these profound explorations of love and heartbreak, resilience, empowerment, all told from, a distinctly female perspective.
And she didn't shy away from tackling those tough social issues either.
No, she didn't.
I'm thinking of her song Brotha, which, addressed racial profiling and police brutality head on. It was so powerful and thought-provoking.
Exactly. Her music was a reflection of her lived experiences, her observations, her convictions. She wasn't afraid to use her platform to speak truth to power and uplift her community.
And that's really what made her such a force to be reckoned with. She wasn't just entertaining. She was making people think and feel and connect with something bigger than themselves.
Yeah, her music was a source of healing and inspiration and empowerment for so many people, and it continues to be so even in her absence. Her legacy lives on through these timeless songs that still resonate deeply with listeners today.
It's really amazing to me how her music just seems to transcend time. Those songs feel just as relevant and powerful today as they did when they were first released.
That's true. It's a testament to, her authenticity, her raw talent, and her ability to tack into those universal human emotions that we all experience, regardless of, when or where we were born.
Absolutely. So as we say goodbye to this incredible music legend,
Yeah.
let's remember the joy that she brought into our lives, the messages that she shared through her art, and the lasting legacy that she leaves behind.
Angie Stone may be gone, but her music will live on forever, continuing to inspire and uplift generations to come.
And we want to hear from you, our listeners. What's your favorite Angie Stone song or memory? Share it in the comments below, and let's keep her legacy alive.